Imagine your teammate going behind your back with your wife. That's exactly what happened to these 6 NBA stars. Their locker rooms turned into soap operas, and the drama spilled onto the court. You won't believe how these affairs changed the game. You know what's crazy? A whopping 60% of NBA divorces involve a teammate. That's insane. Let's talk about something wild. NBA players sleeping with their teammates' wives. Imagine this. You're on the court, passing the ball to your teammate, but off the court, he's passing time with your wife. That's the hidden drama we're diving into today. What happens when the real game is played off the court? These affairs aren't just spicy gossip. They're like grenades in the locker room, blowing up careers, friendships, and championship dreams. You won't believe how these betrayals mess with players' heads and wreck entire teams. So buckle up, because we're about to spill the tea on 6 NBA stars who crossed the line. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll see these players in a whole new light. Let's get into it. First up, we've got a story that'll make your jaw drop. Remember Shaq, the big man who dominated on the court? Well, he caused some serious drama off it too. What happens when Superman becomes the villain in his own locker room? Picture this. It's 2010, and the NBA is buzzing with rumors. Shaquille O'Neal, one of the most beloved players in the league, is caught up in a scandal that's about to shake the foundations of a team. The bombshell? Shaq's allegedly having an affair with Gilbert Arenas' fiancée, Laura Govan. Now, you're probably thinking, no way, not Shaq. But here's where it gets wild. Emails start leaking, and they're not just your average, "Hey, what's up" messages. These emails are spilling all the juicy details about their relationship. It's like a reality TV show, but with way more consequences. The fallout. It's not pretty. Shaq's wife, Shawnee, files for separation faster than you can say slam dunk. She's citing irreconcilable differences. And let's be real, finding out your husband's cheating with a teammate's fiancé is pretty irreconcilable. But wait, there's more. This scandal doesn't just stay in Shaq's personal life. It spills onto the court, and Gilbert Arenas is caught in the crossfire. Imagine trying to focus on your game when fans are chanting your teammate's name. And not in a good way. During a game against the Indiana Pacers, that's exactly what happened. Arenas is at the free throw line, and all he can hear is, "Shaq, Shaq, Shaq." Talk about a distraction. No surprise he misses those free throws. Now, you'd think with all this drama, someone would come clean, right? Well, Laura Govan decides to deny the whole thing in the most hilarious way possible. She says, "Hell no, have you seen his feet? How you gonna sleep with somebody who has feet like that?" I mean, as far as denials go, that's pretty creative. But here's the thing. This affair wasn't just about Shaq, Laura, and some questionable feet. It had a ripple effect that touched everyone around them. Team dynamics? Shattered? Arena's career? It took a hit. When you're worrying about your personal life falling apart, it's kind of hard to focus on your jump shot. You think Shaq's situation was messy? Hold up. We're about to dive into a scandal that rocked an entire franchise. Picture this, a rising NBA star, his teammate's wife, and a social media meltdown that changed everything. The Indiana Pacers will never be the same after this one. Let's talk about Paul George and Roy Hibbert. These two were supposed to be the future of the Pacers, but things went south fast. The rumor mill started churning when people noticed some weird stuff on Instagram. Suddenly, everyone's talking about Paul George hooking up with Roy Hibbert's wife. Talk about awkward locker room vibes. But here's where it gets wild. Lance Stevenson, another Pacers player, actually brought up these rumors during the 2014 playoffs. Can you imagine trying to focus on winning games when your teammates are caught up in this kind of drama? It's like trying to play basketball in the middle of a soap opera. The worst part? Roy Hibbert's game totally fell apart after this. One minute he's a star center, the next he's struggling to make basic plays. It just goes to show how these off-court issues can mess with a player's head and wreck team chemistry. But wait, there's more. Let's switch gears and talk about Andrew Bynum. This guy was supposed to be the next big thing in the NBA, but his career took a nosedive because he couldn't keep it in his pants. Bynum got suspended for hooking up with a coach's wife. That's right, not a teammate's wife, but a coach's wife. Talk about career suicide. After that scandal, Bynum pretty much disappeared from the NBA. It's crazy how one bad decision can derail a promising career. But hey, at least he didn't send any embarrassing texts, right? Wrong! That brings us to our next player, Tony Parker. This guy thought he was slick, sexting with his teammate Brent Barry's wife. But here's the kicker. Parker was married to Eva Longoria at the time. Yeah, that Eva Longoria. When Eva found out, she went full detective mode. She found hundreds of texts between Parker and Aaron Barry. Can you imagine scrolling through all those messages? Eva was so done she filed for divorce and even got a tattoo of their wedding date removed. Ouch. And poor Brent Barry? He ended up filing for divorce too. It's like a domino effect of broken hearts and broken homes. One player's selfish actions managed to blow up two marriages at once. Speaking of poisoned teams, imagine finding out your teammate is dating your ex. Now picture driving 100 miles to confront him. That's exactly what one NBA star did, and it was just the beginning of a scandal that would rock multiple franchises. Matt Barnes wasn't messing around when he heard Derek Fisher was with his ex-wife, Gloria Govan. He jumped in his car and drove 100 miles to settle the score. Can you imagine the tension in that locker room after a showdown like that? It's like something out of a movie, but this was real life, and it had real consequences for everyone involved. But wait, it gets even crazier. Remember Steve Nash, the two-time MVP with the squeaky clean image? Well, his perfect world came crashing down in the most dramatic way possible. Nash's wife, Alejandra, gave birth to a baby, and the very next day, Nash filed for divorce. That's when the rumor mill went into overdrive. People started whispering that Nash's teammates, Leandro Barboza and Jason Richardson, might have been involved with Alejandra. But here's the kicker. DNA tests reportedly showed that Jason Richardson was actually the father of the baby. Talk about a plot twist. Imagine trying to run plays with a guy who just found out you're the father of his wife's baby. That's next level awkward. Now let's talk about Paul George. This guy got himself into hot water when he was caught up in a scandal with a stripper. The worst part? He was dating his coach's daughter at the time. Doc Rivers must have been fuming. Reports came out saying George offered the stripper $1 million to have an abortion. She said no, and suddenly, George's image took a nosedive. But the drama doesn't stop there. Remember the infamous rumor about Delonte West and LeBron James's mom, Gloria? This wasn't just locker room gossip. It blew up during the 2010 NBA playoffs, and people were saying it messed with LeBron's game. Calvin Murphy, a basketball Hall of Famer, even came out and said the rumors were true. Can you imagine trying to focus on winning a championship with that kind of distraction? These scandals don't just wreck marriages and friendships, they can destroy entire teams. Think about it. How do you trust your teammate on the court when you can't even trust him off it? And it's not just about the players involved. These scandals affect everyone around them. Coaches have to manage egos and tension. Other players get caught in the crossfire. Fans start taking sides. And let's not forget about performance. When your personal life is a mess, it shows on the court. We saw it with Roy Hibbert after the Paul George rumors. We saw it with LeBron during those 2010 playoffs. These players are human, and when their world is falling apart, it's hard to keep your head in the game.